What's good, YouTube? It's Ray Drill. So in today's video, I want to bring you guys this gun type flex mini scheme part 2. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go in and sub and turn on post notifications on. So go ahead and dive right into this. So in the playbook that I'm in is gonna be the Rams. Again, I am in the Los Angeles Rams playbook. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure you do check out part 1 where I go over what I believe is one of the best bomb plays in Madden 22. So if you want to check that out, I'll probably link it somewhere up in here. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this. So as far as personnel, the things is going to stay the exact same. You want to put your fastest receiver here, and you want to put your best receiver in this position, and of course your third / whoever your fastest receiver is need to be right here. Now, not your fastest, but your third receiver needs to go right here. Now in today's video, this spot is actually going to be really important. So if you have like a speedster or somebody, that's who you want to put right here. So I may end up putting Robert Woods. I believe Robert Woods is actually faster than Van Jefferson. I'm pretty sure, but we're gonna go ahead and stick Robert Woods right there. So that's basically how personnel looks. Now the only play that I'm talking about in today's video is gonna be this cross play, which I think is honestly such a really good play. And also before I forget, actually I want to show you guys a nice run in this playbook, and it's going to be more geared towards man coverage. It's honestly really good. It's actually just a counter, but the particular counter out of this formation is just really nice because it works so well against man. And also I do have gameplay on this, so if you guys want to stick around to the end, I'm going to put it at the end of the video. It's going to be about maybe 50 seconds or so, just going over some highlights from the game that I played using the scheme. So let's come out and play cross. Now for defense, we're going to do this out of a $1 defense. You guys know I like doing it out of $1 because with these shotgun sets, that's realistically what you're going to see. Either going to see $1 or you're going to see 3-3-5 wide. And the good thing about it is that they're going to play the same style of defense. It's just a different front. So anyways, I'll put some garbage D-line in here so I can have some time to deliver these dots for you guys. And we also have two fast safeties at linebacker, and we also have two good slot corners right here, and we also have speed on the outside, of course. So that's why I always choose the Packers. Now coverages I'm going over is cover 3, cover 2, cover 4, and man coverage, because I want to go over your typical coverage that you will see, because most people aren't really running that much match. And now one thing I will say about match, you want to use the same setup that I use for man coverage. That's gonna normally get you the best, because it's really just man but with zone principles. So it's gonna just be able to beat, you're gonna be able to use the man coverage setup versus match. I want to make sure I did make that really clear. Now let's go ahead and take a look at cover 3. So this is what we're looking like right here. Now there's a lot of setups I like with this play, and in the gameplay that you're gonna see with the highlights, you're gonna see me utilize different setups. So I'm gonna actually right now what I'm gonna do is take you through some different setups that I like, and then I'm going to go in depth only on one setup, if that makes sense. So the first setup that I like is taking square, putting them on a streak. I like to take triangle, put them on an in route. I like the smart route is in route, and I like to take X, put them on a drag, and then I like to take my running back and put them on a swing route just like this. Now if you think there might be a heavy blitzing you, not heavy, but if you think they're blitzing you, then you can simply just block your running back, of course. But normally I like to actually just put everybody out because I have easy reads to make. And now from here I would actually just go ahead and motion this guy out. What you see, we are in cover 3. So let me go and spy him, and I'm spying him just to simulate us like double teaming somebody to roll out. But you want to go ahead and motion that guy out, and what you're gonna be able to notice too is triangle get open, and of course you're gonna just be able to notice just how wide open circle gets and how deep that route is ran. So it's ran deeper than your typical trips tight end type of cross route. So that's one setup that I really love. Now another setup that I like is actually just taking him, putting him on a streak, and then you could just simply motion this guy out, and basically what we're gonna have here is just double drags. Basically we're gonna have double drag. Also I like to put my running back on a curl route to kind of hold the user in the middle, and just to see where he's gonna go, if he's gonna follow one of our drag routes. And I actually love doing that versus, I don't know why I threw that, but I love doing that when they actually try to zone drop and they're not putting they're not playing a double Mabel. So like if they're just only putting a purple at, let's say they had that purple at set 20, right? So if they're doing something like that, then of course I would actually run this particular setup right here to kind of expose that, to force them to have to play, double Mabel on both sides of the field, basically. So that's another setup I like. Hopefully I can maneuver this pocket a little bit to get a little bit of time. And I wasn't able to, but you can tell circle's gonna get wide open. That's just basically the read that you're gonna make, because basically if the user runs with circle, we're gonna look to playmaker one of those routes, or we're gonna hit our running back right there that's in our face. So that's one setup that I like. Another setup that I really love is actually take a square, put them on a streak, triangle on a slant, R1 on a swing route, and then actually I love to just run it just like this, and then we're going to go ahead and motion this guy out, and it's going to be the same type of read progression. You can tell triangle will have that gap right there. I'm just getting hollered at, but you can tell circle's going to literally just get wide open. So those are all the additional setups that I like. Now From here on out, I'm only going to talk about one setup versus, you know, the rest of the zone coverages. But the ones I showed you, you can use versus all of them. They're just not, it's some zone coverages they're not good against. So they're mainly, you know, you use that to your discretion, you know. So just mix those setup in is what I'm saying. Because a lot of times people will do different things when you start dotting them up to where those other setups that I just showed you will start getting more wide open. Now, moving forward, I'm only going to talk about one setup. Now, with this setup, you're going to take square, put them on a streak. Triangle on the hitch, and you're going to take X and put them on the hitch. And this setup right here is going to kill just about every single zone coverage in the game. And it's one of my favorite setups to do. So we're going to take him, motion him out, and then we're going to go and snap the ball. And then basically you tell the hitch is going to get open, and then the hook curls are going to eventually pull down. And you're making basically that simple read. You're basically just going to say, okay, is the user on the hook curl? Yes, he is. So now what I'm actually going to do is actually throw a circle route. So we're making the user have to choose. So watch, this is the hook curl right here at the safety. So what's going to happen is that hook curl is going to get pulled down to actually guard this route, and this hook curl is going to get pulled down to guard this route. And this is so good because if the user is here, right, if this is the user, he has to choose right now. Do I want to guard the hitch or do I want to guard this crosser? Now, most of the time they're actually going to come guard this hitch themselves because they realize that this is just a wide open throw. And then also this is good too because if the user is on this side, what's going to happen is you can tell he has to make another choice. Do I want to guard the crosser or do I want to guard this hitch? Now, one thing, if you guys follow my channel for a long time, you know I am really big on triangle schemes. So you might be saying, "Bro, what is triangle schemes for you newer guys?" That's where we have a triangle. You see how we can connect those? So if we were to connect all our receivers, we have a triangle. So basically that means we have a high-low that no CPU can guard. And we're always going to be guaranteed to have one person open because we have 3 potential people that's open. There's only 1 user and 2 CPU, so somebody's going to get glitched out. So that's why I love triangle route combos. So you see it, tell right here we have a nice one that's going on right here. So basically you can see it gets wide open, man. Now moving on, let's talk about cover 2. So with cover 2, it's going to be a little bit different. So kind of pay attention to that mid read, right? Let me blitz him. We'll spot his other side. So I want you to pay attention to black right here. Kind of watch what he does. So we're going to take square, put him on a streak, triangle on the hitch, X on the hitch, and we're going to go and do the same exact thing. So now we're going to go and snap the ball. Now I did get press animation, but that's fine. But watch that mid read. So you notice how he actually turns and actually man matches him. That's the only thing that actually will slow down that route because it actually is going to be a man match. So at this point, the user technically can bag this particular route concept with just a standard cover 2. Now if he was to put that guy in the middle third, what's going to happen is that guy is going to be up here, right? So of course we would just have a wide open man, and if he's in the middle third, then what? The user would have to be on one of the vertical hooks, right? So that means that basically we'll have an easy read just like we did versus cover 3. So you might be saying, "Well, then you know this play isn't that good, right?" But what I want to show you guys is if they want to play a cover 2 and they're using a vertical hook and they're going to leave that mid read, so meaning they're not going to put nobody deep just to stop this play, then guess what we could do? I'm going to take a trip to part 1 real quick, and we're going to talk about PA post shot. Then I would run the setup that I just gave you guys for part 1, where we would run it just like this, and now we would take this guy, motion him out, and now I'm actually going to back off that cornerback because most of the time people are going to not be pressing that guy out there. So we're going to snap the ball, and then if they wanted to run this, then they have to make a choice between that and a crosser. And you can tell right there, if they don't want to put a middle third, we're just going to bomb them for a 1-play touchdown. So they're going to have to play that middle third if they don't want to get bombed, right? So now let's take a look at it again with this guy in the middle third. Even though I did just show it, but I want to make sure that you guys, you know, are able to see it with your own eyes. So square on a streak, triangle on the hitch, X on the hitch. Then we're going to take this guy and motion him out. We're going to snap the ball right here. Now he does get pressed, but that's fine. And as you can tell, I mean, literally, that's just literally just going to get wide open, you know. And look how far of a throw that is. That's what's really important. They're going to have a tough time trying to zone drop versus that. They almost have to user guard that because of how that route is ran. It's ran to almost climb over the routes. Now, if I remember at the end of the video, I may play around and just put a 30 out there and just see how it plays because I want to see if it gets over 30. It might not, but if they put 30-yard zone drops, then they basically lost because there's going to be so much things you can hit underneath that it's not even funny. But square on the streak, triangle on the hitch, X on the hitch. And basically what we're going to do here is play cover 4 drop. And also, the only thing that will slow down this concept is cover 4 drop. Now watch that quarter out there on the left side. So pay attention how he actually just sits right in that window, and it's going to make it to where it's just such a hard throw, right? So you might be like, well, okay, cover 4 quarters, well, cover 4 drop, we'll bag it. Now, this is where you have to be a smart Madden player. If you realize you run it once and then run cover for a drop, and that happens, simply just throw the ball away, or playmaker a hitch or something. Don't forget you can playmaker those hitches. And now what I want you to do is actually say, okay, now either A, you can bomb their cover for a drop with this PA post shot play, or B, what you can do is you can actually say, okay, well, I'm gonna take square, put them on a streak still, triangle on the hitch still. We're gonna do the same exact setup, but now instead of motion a circle out, I'm gonna motion out this square route. And what that's gonna do is actually going to pull both of those quarters. So it's gonna pull the 2 left quarters that you see over there. And what's gonna happen is we're gonna have the same exact route combo that's gonna open up for us, as long as circle doesn't get bumped crazy. But even still, you can tell, I mean, that's just such an easy throw, as you can tell, even though we get an unfortunate animation. But that's basically how that play is going to work, man, versus any zone coverage. So now let's talk about man coverage, right? Because this is where setup gets a lot different, I'll say. So let's shade inside underneath, right? So let's say they're playing this aggressive style man coverage where they're going to use everything in the middle to the outside and just hope that, that their little 3 or 4 man rush can get through. You know how people play when they play man like that. Now, this is my setup I like. So I like to, if I'm on like a 1st and 10 or something like that, 1st and 8, something like that, then I would actually take square, put them on a out route. When I was smart route is out route just like this, and I would take triangle, put them on a slant. Remember, so this should be your best receiver right here. Notice how he's off the ball, so they're not going to be able to press him, so that's why I like to put him on a slant. It's already your best receiver, so normally this slant is going to win almost 10 out of 10 times. Now from here, I like to take X, put him on a backside drag, and take R1 and actually put him on a flat route just to get him out the way or pull down any zones. So this is my favorite setup right here. Now, if it's like 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, I don't recommend you doing a baby out route. What I would do is take square and just put him on a zig route, and I would actually take X and I would probably just put him on a curl route just like this. So now this is what I would run if it's short yardage situations. But if you're 1st and 10 and stuff like that, just take X, put him on the drag, square on the out route, small route is out route. So boom, this is a setup I want you to use. Now let me show you why I love this setup. Because what's going to happen is we're going to have the user choose between circle and triangle. Now, depending on who you have, you can tell right here, J. Alexander, of course, is going to bag him, of course. Now, what I would recommend you to do is if they're playing man coverage, either A, run PA post shot with the man coverage that I showed you in part 1, where we're utilizing these 2 receivers versus just utilizing him. Or B, what you can do, you can take your 1 or 2 receiver, whichever one you want to take, and put him over here, right? That's what you want to do to actually give this pretty much play a good chance of, being able to deliver a dot. So basically, Robert Woods is not going to be able to beat J. Alexander is what I'm trying to say. So that will be on you as far as personnel to make sure your matchups are good, right? Because I can give you guys the great combos and everything, but it's going to be up to you to put your players in a position to make a play, basically. So let me show you that again. So square on the out route, small route is out route, triangle on the slant, R1 on the swing route, and then motion them across. Now, like I said, if they're pressing and that's their best corner on your 3rd string receiver, then you should just be running PA post shot all day till they're tired of it. But you can tell right here, like what I wanted to show you, the reason I keep showing you this play is because I want to show you that that deep half will not play it. So if they want to play that style of man coverage, you'd want to put your receiver who can win in this position right here. And also one thing I want to show you too is that notice how he doesn't press him. So you see how we are able to get out of there? That's going to be really, really important to where if they don't have their best corner here, normally you get like a little speed boost. So you notice how he cuts and he actually accelerates. Normally you get like a speed boost, but since Jier's lighting up, he's not having none of that. But notice how he's just going to keep running past that deep half, and that's going to open up this sideline throw, which is very, very real to hit. And also, since this is our best receiver, you can tell Cooper Kupp is absolutely going to torch him. Of course, that's Cooper Kupp. And then you can tell that slant, it will have to be user guarded. So basically, we're going to have to decide between these 2 routes. And this out here is just designed if they have any purples to pull the purple. Or you can also look for this to actually hit. You can tell right there, Odell does get the win animation. So that's basically how, I would use that little concept. Now, let's say your opponent, last thing I'll talk about here is, okay, what if they say, okay, I'm going to put this purple out here for that slant by Cooper Kupp. I'm going to put this right here for that glitchy little crosser route. And then I'm actually going to just sit here and user, maybe the out route or something by square or, something like that, so just kind of seeing how the user would play. Now, let's set that up again. Square on the out route, small route is out route, triangle on the slant, X on the drag, R1 on a curl route. Now, sometimes I will throw X on a curl route too as well. if I don't think the user is respecting the middle of the field enough. Or I may take X, put them on the in route, small route as in route. This is another concept I love, because we're going to force that user to have to stay in the middle of the field so we can actually throw this crosser right over the head. So I guess I'll show you the setup right here since I have it right now. But one thing I want you to notice is that watch how we can actually throw this crosser past that middle third. That's what's important right here. So notice how that middle third just won't play it, and we will have all that space out there to just complete a pass on the sideline. Now I know you guys are probably saying like, bro, you know, Jaire Alexander keep picking you off. Yeah, he's supposed to. He's lighting up. But anyways, last thing I'll show you before I show you gameplay is one thing I love to do, and you'll see in the gameplay, if they're going to play this style of defense, what I love to do is actually run this counter play. So if they're playing any type of man coverage, this counter play, what I found is really, really nice, and I'll show you that right here. So notice how, wow, Jaire Alexander, you gonna mess up my video like that? But notice how there's nothing but space there. Now, it all depends on what front they're in, but every single front that I went against, it pretty much played the same way. So I don't understand what happened with Jaire. Normally this doesn't happen. Where this happens, normally they're actually going to block, and when they actually do block, what does happen is that there's going to be that hole right here that's created. You can tell if Robert Woods would just hold his block, that hole is created. And the nice thing about this is that if the safeties are in a purple, they're normally going to just shoot out here automatically, and he's going to shoot out here, or you know, wherever he has them at, he's going to shoot outside. So what's going to happen is that you'll have this nice little gap right up in here that you'll be able to exploit for, you know, a really, really nice game. But that's gonna wrap up for this video. I do hope you guys have a blessed day, and also you know, check out this gameplay right after this. But I do hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out.
To throw is Stafford. Got a man open, it's Tyler Higbee. Throwing again on second down. Stafford. Higbee secures it over the middle. And he'll go down, but not before.
Had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
They'll run on first down with Akers. And here he'll get it.
Job's a little bit easier for this halftime.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
Throwing on second and long. Stafford. Open man right side is Cup, complete. And they will eventually get. They'll look to run with Akers. And he'll get into the end zone.